Hey guys, because your class only meets 2 times this week instead of 3, we won't have time in class to review for your quiz as I was able to do with the other class. So to be fair, I wanted to be sure that I gave you the same review that I gave them. They were able to ask questions about things they didn't understand, and you are surely welcome to come to tutoring tomorrow morning to do that. But since I wasn't able to explain these to you as I was them, then I'm making you a recording so that everybody has the same opportunities. All right, so your quiz tomorrow will be 9-question multiple choice Scantron. So on here we have 17 questions, so your quiz will be about half this length. There will not be anything on your quiz that is not on this practice quiz. So all you have to know how to do are the problems on this practice quiz, and then you'll be good for tomorrow. All right, so let's start with number 1. So for number 1, they ask us to add these two polynomials. And so because it's addition, it's not going to change anything that comes after it. So I can take these out of my parentheses and I'm just going to combine like terms. So I could put my 3x squared and my 2x squared together to be 5x squared. And I could put my 2x minus 1x together to be 1x. And then the only constant was -3. Now, if I want to subtract those same two polynomials, this subtraction sign has to get distributed to everything that comes after it. And so that's going to be a -2x squared, negative times negative is a positive x, negative times negative is a positive 3. And then I'm going to combine like terms again. So 3x squared minus 2x squared is 1x squared, 2x plus 1x is 3x, and then my constant of 3. All right, then we want to multiply. So first off, I have a binomial times a binomial, so I'm going to FOIL. So I'm going to say 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. -4 times 2x is -8x. And -4 times 5 is -20. So if I combine like terms, 15x minus 8x would be positive 7x. 2x minus 5 squared, remember you can't just square the first term and square the last term. It literally means 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5, and then we're going to FOIL just like we did a second ago. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared, 2x times -5 is -10x, and then -5 times 2x is -10x, and -5 times -5 is positive 25. My two inner and outer terms will combine to be -20x. All right, then for this next one, I'm going to take my a and distribute it to each of these pieces, and then I'm going to take my -b and distribute it to each of these pieces. So a times a squared is a cubed. A times ab is a squared b. A times b squared is ab squared. And then let's go through and take our -b. So -b times a squared is -a squared b. -b times ab is -ab squared. And -b times b squared is -b cubed. So combining like terms, you can see a squared b and -a squared b cancel out, and ab squared and -ab squared cancel out, and that just leaves me with a cubed minus b cubed. If you notice, this was the difference of cubes formula. So if you recognize that, then you could just put this together. That also helps me in just a moment when I need to do a difference of cubes, that I already have that formula there to utilize. All right, so then for 3a, if I have, now I'm factoring, I'm undoing what I was just doing. So remember, the first thing you want to do is take out a greatest common factor, nothing I can take out. And since I have two terms, it would either have to be a difference of squares or a difference of cubes, because there's not a sum there for it to be a sum of cubes. And so this is a difference of squares. So x squared is x times x, and 10 times 10 gives me 100, 1 sign plus and 1 sign minus. All right, for this one, again, I don't have a greatest common factor. It's difference, so it has to be difference of squares or difference of cubes. And you'll notice that these are each cubes. 27 is 3 cubed. So I'm going to put x in for a, and I'm going to put 3 in for b. So right here, x in for a, 3 in for b, x in for a, x in for a, and 3 in for b would be x times 3, or 3x. And then 3 in for b, 3 squared would be 9. And again, remember that your signs go same, opposite, always positive. So once you know how to do the sum of cubes, or sorry, the difference of cubes, the sum of cubes is going to be the exact same thing. The only thing that's going to change is that this will be a plus and this will be a minus. So if you'll notice in your answer, the only thing that changed is this is a plus and this is a minus. So here is that next problem that we were just talking about. So again, you'll see you get that same answer, and it's just that this is a plus and this is a minus. All right, then for D. So for D, we have 4 terms. So remember, when you have 4 terms, you are going to factor by grouping. So I'm going to group my first 2 terms together, and I'm going to group my last 2 terms together. So I could take an x squared out of these first 2, and that would leave me with x minus 3. So when you're factoring out, remember you're saying x squared times what is x cubed, or you're saying x cubed divided by x squared gives me what? And then over here, I could take a common factor of 4 out, and that also leaves me with x minus 3. So only if these are the same, then I can take that out as my common factor, put your finger over this and your finger over this, and you can see the other factor is x squared plus 4. And we don't have a sum of squares, so that won't factor down any further, so that's our answer. All right, then for E, I don't have any number other than 1 out in front, so I'm going to go through and find all the factors of my constant, and because this is a plus sign, I'm going to think sum, same. So I'm going to find the sum of the factors and see which one multiplied to be 12 but added to be negative 8. And so there it is right there, the 2 and the 6. And remember, it's sum same because the signs are the same. They'll either both be positive or both be negative, and they'll be the same as the sign of this middle term. So they were both negative because negative 2 plus negative 6 is negative 8, but negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. All right, so here's another one. This time I have a subtraction sign here, so we're going to think difference, different. So I'm going to go through and give the factors of 12 again, but this time I'm finding the difference between them. So there's my pair right there that gives me my 11. So I'm going to put in my 12 and my 1. So when this is a minus, we think difference, different. That means one sign's going to be plus and one sign's going to be minus, and I need the larger number to have the same sign as the middle term. So negative 12 and positive 1 add to be negative 11 and multiply to be negative 12. All right, then for this next one, I can't take out a greatest common factor, so I'm going to need to use the AC method. So I'm going to take 6 times negative 12, and that's going to give me negative 72. Not worried about the sign just yet. So I found all the factors of 72, and since this is a minus sign right here, I'm thinking difference, different. So I'm finding the difference between those, and there it is right there. So it's not... The difference with the AC method is you'll notice that I didn't come down here and say 6x squared plus 8x and 9x minus 12, right? Like the 2 answers I get right here are not the answers in my factor. What I do with these 2 things that I get right here is I replace that middle term. Since positive 8x minus 9x equals a negative 1x, I can replace that with what it's equal to. And that gives me 4 terms so that I can factor by grouping. So I grouped my first 2 terms, and I was able to take a 2x out of that, leaving 3x plus 4. And then I grouped my last 2 terms. Now, if I took a 3 out of that, it would leave me negative 3x minus 4, and that wouldn't match. So I took a negative 3 out, and that left me 3x plus 4. So since these are the same, then I'm able to take out 3x plus 4, put your finger over this, and you can see 2x minus 3 will be our other factor. Also notice that you can write these in either order. It can be 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 3 as well. All right, then they asked us to simplify. So I've tried to use the same problems here that you were using just a moment ago over here, since you've already taken the time to factor those. So we already know that this factors down to x minus 2x minus 6. So remember, you can cancel things that are being multiplied, not things that are being added. So since these were being multiplied, I canceled my x minus 6's. So I was left with 1 in the top and the x minus 2 in the bottom. All right, then for number 5, we're multiplying. So again, I'm going to go ahead and factor this one. That was a previous problem we did. And so remember that you can cancel diagonally or up and down, you just can't cancel horizontally. So we were able to cancel these x plus 1s, and we were able to cancel these x minus 12s. So what's left is 1 times 1 times 3 in the top, and then 1 times 1 in the bottom, so just 3. All right, remember when you divide, you're going to keep change flip. So I kept the first one the same, changed division to multiplication, and changed the last one to, I flipped it. So we're multiplying by the reciprocal. So we're flipping it upside down. So again, if I go through and use the factors for that quadratic and the factors for that quadratic, notice that the x minus 2's will cancel diagonally and the x minus 3's will cancel up and down. So in the top, I'm left with x minus 6 times 1 times 1. And in the bottom, I'm left with x plus 4 times 1 times 1. All right, if we're going to add and subtract, we need a common denominator. All right, so my common denominator for x minus 4 and x plus 3 is just going to be x minus 4, x plus 3. And so I'm going to rewrite this with the common denominator and this with the common denominator. All right, so to get from this denominator to this one, I multiplied by x minus 3. So what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And to get from this denominator to this one, I multiplied by x minus 4. So what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. The whole reason we got a common denominator was to combine our two numerators. So to combine those, we're going to distribute 3 times x, 3 times 3, 2 times x, 2 times negative 4. And then 3x and 2x are 5x, and 9 and negative 8 are 1, so just combining our like terms. And then nothing else will simplify here. All right, please note this should be a minus sign right here. I'm sorry, when I copied it, I didn't do that, but it is correct down here. So just make that a little minus sign right there. And so you'll notice that this is the exact same problem. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to rewrite this with our common denominator. So you can see our numerators are the same. It's just the sign in between. So here's the difference. When you distribute this negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. So you can see those two signs changed with the subtraction. All right, so 3x minus 2x is 1x, 9 and 8 is 17. And so that would be our final answer since nothing else will factor or cancel. All right, I know you guys are going to do a great job on your quiz tomorrow. Remember that there is nothing on your quiz tomorrow that is not on this sample quiz, and that it's half the length. So it's 9 questions, whereas this was 17. So don't worry about running out of time. You'll have plenty of time tomorrow. All right. Talk to you later. You're going to do great.